Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Gave a few people a few minutes to get on here. Hope y'all are having a great day. It's really pretty here in Las Vegas today. The sun's shining and it's nice and warm and not too hot, not too cold. It's one of weather is turns out is one of my favorite parts of Las Vegas, and that and the palm trees and the mountains. I don't think I'll ever get used to walking out of Walmart and just seeing mountains across the street. That's just something that you don't see every day if you're not used to that. But I just wanted to come on here and share a few things with you guys about my journey. You know, since I started posting on Facebook here a month or so ago about how I got here to Las Vegas and how I changed my life and all that, so many of you have reached out to me and just shared so much love and positivity and well wishes and good thoughts, and I appreciate that so much. But so many of you also have either reached out to me in comments or private messages and just told me how you wanted to change your life. You know, you have hopes and dreams, you want to change your life, you're scared, you don't know how to get started, you know, all the things. And so I just kind of thought about my process that I went through when I started, you know, thinking about making these life changes and what I did. So I put together a list of things that really helped me, and I wanted to share that today because I think it's really important to have some encouragement and some strength and some guidance to do what you want to do. And so I'm just going to share a few things. So if you're a numbers person, though, I have a list of 4 things that I did. So I'm going to try to give you that in numbers. And the first thing is just to evaluate your situation. You know, think about your life and what it looks like right now. And so for me, you know, when I did this, I looked at my life, you know, where I was at in life, and I wasn't happy with that, and looked at where I had come from and what got me to where I was. You know, we all know that the decisions that we make throughout our whole lives impacts what our life is going to look like in the future, right? So evaluate your life, you know, and then look ahead, like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. Are you going to be happy with that? You know, for me, I wasn't. You know, I looked at my life, and when I looked ahead, I saw what, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so I knew I wasn't going to be happy with that. So I knew I wanted to make some changes. And so, you know, what do you want your life to look like? You know, what do you want to change? Do you want a new job? Do you want to be at home with your kids? Do you want to end an unhealthy relationship? Do you want to move to a new place? Do you want to get out of debt? What is it that you want? And, you know, whatever those hopes and dreams are for you, evaluate those, look at those and think about those, and get a notebook out and write those things down. Now, you're not really trying to figure out how to make that happen right now. You know, that can be really overwhelming, but just think about what you want and write it down. And then the next thing is just think about those things. Think about your hopes and dreams, what you want. Think about them, pray about them. You know, spend some time digging really deep within yourself and picturing what you want your life to actually look like. You know, I had a vision for what I wanted to see when I looked ahead, and what I saw wasn't what I wanted to see. You know, I imagined what I wanted my life to look like when I got to Vegas. And so, you know, and you want to dream, y'all, really big. You know, you want your dreams to be really big, because if your dreams aren't big enough, you know, you're not going to want to go out there and actually do them if they're not big enough. And, you know, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be anxious when you're thinking about these things. You know, those things are normal, but you don't want to live there. You know, for me, I was afraid. I'm not going to lie. You know, I had lived in Arkansas my entire life. And so, you know, moving to a new place for me alone was scary. But but my why was big enough that it really helped me stay focused on my dream. So don't be too set apart if you are afraid, and don't let that stop you from going after what you want. Like I said, if those dreams aren't big enough and they don't scare you, they're not big enough. And so I'll talk more about, you know, overcoming those fears and hesitations here in just a minute. But you want to take your list of hopes and dreams and you want to prioritize them by number. Okay, with number 1 being the dream, that a hope and the dream that is the most important to you. And then you want to share that list of dreams with someone that you trust. You know, that's going to be invaluable to you as you go through this process. And that's having 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people with you that will help you with your hopes and dreams. You know, you can talk to them, they'll support you, they'll love you no matter what. So you just want to share that with somebody. And then number 2 is have a decided heart. Now I'll talk more about what I mean in just a second, but before you can have a decided heart, you need to know what's most important to you. So that's where that list comes in. you start with the number one dream on your list. That is the one that, like I said, is most important to you. You want that dream more than you want to breathe air. So for me, living in Arkansas, my daughter and her wife and my granddaughter living out here in Vegas, I had not seen my daughter in 5 years until I picked her up from the airport because she drove back to Vegas with me. Hadn't seen her in 5 years. So my why for coming out here was huge, and I wanted that more than I wanted to breathe air. And so the next thing is you want to start focusing on your dream. How bad do you want that dream? What are you willing to do to make that dream a reality? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? And, if the answer is yes, then you have a decided heart. And if the answer is no, well, that usually means your dream either isn't big enough or you're letting fears and hesitations just take over and paralyze you. And so at this point, we're still not trying to really figure out how to make the dream happen. We're just focusing on the dream. And so once you decide that you're going to turn that dream into your reality, no matter what, no matter how scared you are, no matter if you have the money or the resources to do it, no matter what, then you've decided that you're going to do it no matter what. And so your dream is big enough, you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to make that happen. You just will. Your brain automatically goes into, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what, so what do I need to do to make that happen? But your dream has to be big enough. And so the next thing is, number 3, is that's when you start making a plan, okay? You've evaluated your situation, you've got that decided heart, I'm doing this no matter what, now what do I need to do to make it happen? And so, you can't get to your destination without a roadmap, right? So when we were coming out here to Vegas, even though my daughter lived out here, neither one of us had actually made the drive out here before. And so we didn't know the roads, but we used GPS, thank God for those, right? But, we had a roadmap. So we knew at all times exactly where we were going. And when you're doing hopes and dreams and you're thinking about changing your life, you still have to have that map. You have to know exactly where you're going to go. And so how soon do you want it to be a reality? For me, I wanted that, yesterday. And so I knew that I had to get started right away on making a plan. And so mapping that out. And so, you want to just brainstorm your dream with pen and paper and a notebook or piece of paper. Are there changes you can make right now? Are there financial hurdles that you need to figure out how to get over or resources that you need to acquire to make your dream a reality? And so you want to think about all the options that you have to make that happen. And do you have several options? And write those down too, because, when I was going through the process of trying to determine what I wanted, and what my options were, I was like, okay, well, this will work and this will work and this will work. That might work. This might work. Well, what about this here? No, that won't work. So you need to have several options and write those down. And, I spent a lot of late nights on the phone with my daughter as well. Again, that's where, having that connection with the close people in your life that you can go to, because, we talked about the options, what works, what doesn't work. And then, review those options daily, and because new thoughts and new ideas will start coming to you. As you do this, you want to write all those down and then just start making some changes, okay? Start making the changes that you can make right now. Doesn't matter how big they are, doesn't matter how small they are, but they're changes, and they'll start helping you move forward towards reaching the goal of making your dream a reality. And so as you start implementing those every single day, then you start to see what's working and what's not working. Okay, well, I did this and I did this and that didn't work. Well, this did work, and this still might work. I haven't tried it yet, but you can start fine-tuning your plan. And so that leads me to number 4, and that is to take action. So a dream without a plan is just a wish, and your dreams will never become a reality with just hopes and wishes. You have to take action, right? They just won't. I lived most of my adult life on hopes and dreams and wishes, and saying, well, I wish my life looked like this, I wish it looked like that. I dreamt of a life over here, I dreamt of a life over there. But hopes and wishes won't do anything for you if you are not taking action on those. And so, and I get it, it's really hard, and it's really uncomfortable, and it's really scary. So many times I tried to leave my situation, and I would do all the things until I got to that action part. And then sometimes I would actually, start to take action, But because I didn't have a decided heart, and I didn't have enough discipline, and I didn't have enough focus, and I had a lot of fears, and I had a lot of hesitations that I was letting control me, then, I would run back to the safety net of my comfort zone. Well, guess what? Your safety net, where you're comfortable, that's where all your hopes and dreams go to die. Because if you're so comfortable that you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, you're never going to take action and move forward. And so you don't live in your comfort zone. And all along this journey, you're going to have hopes or have fears and hesitations. Some of the things for me, like, what if I get out there and I don't like it? What if I fail? What if I can't make it on my own? What if, right? But, one of the things, and this is how I overcame those fears and hesitations, is I didn't give them energy in my body or space in my head. For a very brief period, and I say very brief because for me, my why was really big, and my hopes and dreams were really big, and that was enough to get me out of that thinking, okay, well, what if? But, you don't want to focus on those things. You want to look straight ahead at your dream. You want to keep your eye on the prize. You're going to see it down there at the end of the road, and you just keep walking, you just keep running, towards that goal and that hope and that dream. And so I just redirected my thoughts and said, Denise, this is stupid. As long as you're with your family, there's no way you're not going to like it there. You've lived on your own before. You can make it all by yourself. And I knew coming back here coming back there to Arkansas was not an option for me. Once I came out here, that was it. So if something happened, I got out here, didn't like it, whatever, I'd put my big girl panties on and figure out, okay, how to make it work here, because I was never going back there, period. And so that's where you just have to take a leap of faith and jump out into the unknown. And, again, that's where friends and the people in your life are going to be important to you, because I had a really good friend when I was talking to her about all this stuff and making some decisions. And she told me, she said, Denise, sometimes we have to step out into the unknown and trust that God will lay the path before us and light the way for us to follow. And y'all, that's so true, because when I finally did that, and I finally jumped out of the little fish tank I was in and started swimming in the big ocean, God literally laid the path in front of me, and it lit up like a Christmas tree. So there was no way that, I could not see where I was going and what I needed to do. And so I just want to close with a few thoughts here. If you're on the fence about your life and you can't get past your fears and hesitations, let me tell you this, okay? And listen real closely. This is important, because the life you want is waiting for you on the other side of all those fears and hesitations. It is, I promise. It really is. And when I finally jumped, like I said, out of the fish tank I was living in, and I started swimming in that big ocean, I found the life that I wanted waiting for me there to start creating it and start living it. It was there. It was waiting. All I had to do was get out of my own way, jump out of into the ocean, and go find it. And so James Allen says, the world steps aside for the one who knows where they're going. So what are you waiting for? Evaluate your life, make a plan, take action, and chase hard after all your dreams. Chase hard after all of them. Make them really big. Because life is short and time is little, and everything you want is on the other side of your fears and your hesitations and your comfort zone. So I hope that this helped somebody today. Hope it helped you, get a better idea of what you want with your own life. I love you guys, and if you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out and talk to me. I'm always here to listen, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.